The meeting of the Committee on Accountability, Finance, and Personnel of the Board of School Directors will please come to order. Will the Secretary please call the roll?
Director Herndon.
Aye. Present.
Director Jackson has asked to be excused this evening. Director Reza.
Present.
Director Zomber.
Present.
And Chair O'Halloran.
Here.
That's 4 present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. The Chair will now ask the Secretary to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. The Chair invites any members of the audience who wish to participate to do so, and asks that those who do not wish to participate please remain silent during the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being conducted from the Central Services Building. This meeting is also broadcast on the MPS YouTube stream, the link to which may be found on the MPS website on the upcoming meetings page. This evening's agenda items and attachments may also be found online on the upcoming meetings page of the MPS website. Before we begin tonight's meeting, we have a short announcement regarding interpretation services for the Spanish-speaking members of our audience.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a la Junta Escolar de las Escuelas Públicas de Milwaukee. Si deseas escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor llame al 312-626-6799. Otra vez, 312-626-6799. Introduzca el número de reunión 608-130-5362. Nuevamente, el número de reunión es 608-130-5362. Gracias.
Thank you. For each of our items of business, we will hold a discussion and public hearing. If you wish to speak, please fill out a speaker slip and bring it to our Secretary, Dr. Owen Moore. We have no virtual speakers registered for this meeting. For the sake of fairness tonight and to give everyone a chance to speak, the Chair reserves the right to limit the length of time allowed to any one speaker. Disruptive or disrespectful behavior will not be permitted. If it occurs, the meeting may be paused and those involved may be asked to step out so we can continue in a safe and productive manner. Thank you for helping us ensure a positive experience for everyone. And now, given that our focus this year is literacy, we have some help with our messages from one of our young readers. Abby is a 7th grader at Cooper School.
Welcome to tonight's committee meeting. The committee will accept public comments on tonight's agenda items. Speakers may only address the item for which they have registered. Questions from the public may not be answered during the public comment period. Following public comment, the committee will begin its discussion, and no additional comments will be accepted. When you are called upon to speak, please state your name and spell your last name for the record, like this: Tanya Jacobs, Jacobs. Written testimony will also be accepted for transmittal to the board. Send this testimony to the Office of Board Governance, P.O. Box 2181, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 532012181, or email it to governance@milwaukee.k12wi.us. Just as a reminder, Robert's Rules of Orders dictates that all comments, questions, or requests should be directed to the chair, who will determine the most efficient way to address them. Also, no one other than the members of the board, designated staff, and those who have been invited to present or participate in items of business will be allowed on stage before, during, or after meetings of the board and its committees.
Thank you, Abby, for being tonight's reader, and a special thank you to Mrs. Kukula, teacher at Cooper, for encouraging her students to read for our meetings. If you have a child that would like to read for the board meeting, send a message to governance@milwaukee.k12.wi.us. Now let's begin. There are several items that come each month as routine matters under a consent agenda. We will have one public comment period on consent agenda matters. After the public comment period, if board members wish to ask questions or comment on specific items, they may set those items aside for separate discussion by the board. No additional public comments will be accepted after the initial comment period. Any items that are not set aside will be approved with one motion. We will not have formal presentations on consent agenda items. Madam Secretary, do any members of the public wish to comment on this evening's consent agenda items?
We do not have any speaker slips.
Thank you. So for the consent agenda items, are there any items on the consent agenda that board members wish to set aside? Director Zombor.
I set number 5, action on the award of professional services contracts. I have just a quick statement on that one.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Can we start with number 5 then, please?
Number 5 is the action on award of professional services contracts. This has been set aside by Director Zomber.
Thank you, Director Zombor.
Thank you, Chair O'Halloran. I'm just wondering if the administration could comment on, or maybe this is, I'm wondering if we can do a cost-benefit analysis on moving services. This is my third year on the board, and we tend to get a lot of contracts for moving services and things that, like spreading mulch in the spring. And so I'm just curious to know, is it more cost-effective to outsource these particular services since we seem to use them a lot, or is it more cost-effective to bring them back in-house?
Thank you, administration. So I believe we're looking at item number 5. The second attachment is, I believe, what we're talking about. We have for relocation, it's $105,000. So I don't know if you're prepared to speak on that request tonight, but do you have any thoughts or responses?
Director O'Halloran, Director Zombor, and members. I also am concerned about all of our contracts, and we're going to be doing a deep dive into our contracts because of our budget situation and just wanting to make sure that we're looking at our contracts closely. But I will let Ms. Adamczyk or Mr. Terza comment on the specifics within the moving contract.
Director, Chair O'Halloran, members of the committee, Janine Adamczyk, Director of Procurement and Risk Management. With respect to the moving services, on these two particular contracts, we did issue an RFP, and these two were selected based upon the cost. Predominantly, these vendors will be utilized for moving books. We get a lot of requests during the course of the year for textbook removal, et cetera. And while we do state that we may use these for other services, these are predominantly used for textbooks and those items within the actual schools themselves.
Okay, thank you. Director Zombor, does that kind of satisfy, or would you like more of a formal analysis to be brought in conjunction maybe with future contracts as we consider them?
Thank you. I mean, I'm comfortable with this tonight. We definitely want to keep the work moving. I'm just curious if it long-term is more cost-effective, you know, when you look at the hourly rates, you know, and there's different days of the week, but it looks like maybe a weekday, $46 for a mover. I understand there's also trucks. Just wondering if at some point we could get a cost-benefit analysis on, is it more cost-effective to outsource, or should we be looking at staffing up internally?
Administration.
Director O'Halloran, Director Zombor, I absolutely think we ought to look at that analysis and look at, so I'll see if Mr. Terza could comment and follow up on that for you.
Thank you. Before we ask for a motion, are there any other items that board members would like to set aside, or no?
You got to take a motion on this one separately
Okay.
since it was set aside.
Okay. So Director Zombor, would you like
I
to make a
move-
motion?
Thank you, Chair O'Halloran. I move approval of the administration's recommendation on the award of professional services contracts.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On Director Zomber's motion to approve the administration's recommendation on professional services contracts, Director Herndon,
Aye.
Director Reza,
Aye.
Director Zomber,
Aye.
and Chair O'Halloran.
Aye.
That's 4 ayes, the motion passes.
Thank you. Now we can turn to the balance of the consent agenda items. I don't see anybody setting any items aside for comment or question, so would somebody care to make a motion, please? Director Zombor.
I move to approve the balance of the consent agenda items.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On Director Zomber's motion to approve the balance of the items on the consent agenda, Director Herndon,
Aye.
Director Reza,
Aye.
Director Zomber,
Aye.
and Chair O'Halloran.
Aye.
That's 4 ayes, the motion passes.
Thank you. Before we move on, the chair would like to congratulate all the candidates recommended for appointment, promotion, or transfer. We celebrate this important step in your career journey and appreciate your commitment to serving Milwaukee Public Schools, our students and staff. Thank you for bringing your talents here. Applause. Madam Secretary, what is the next item of business, please?
Madam Chair, the next item of business is now we are back to the remainder of the agenda. Item action on a request to sunset Resolution 2324R-001 concerning employee time off for mental health. The recommendation is that the board sunset Resolution 2324R-001.
Thank you. Would the administration please present the item?
Chair O'Halloran, members, in August of 2023, the board adopted a resolution 2324R-001, time off for mental health, directing the administration to explore options for a district-wide shutdown in the month of July to provide employees with 5 consecutive days off. At that time, a full district-wide closure was not feasible, and an alternative approach was implemented allowing designated employees to take 5 non-consecutive days off during the month of July. Since adoption of the resolution, the administration has confirmed a district calendar that includes a 5 consecutive day district-wide closure, consistent with the board's original intent. This approach provides employees with uninterrupted time off while reducing operational challenges associated with non-consecutive staff absences. Key staff in offices such as operations, finance, and human resources will coordinate it with their respective chiefs and supervisors to ensure a schedule that allows members to support the work in July and also receive 5 days off, as some members of these teams will be needed during the district closure to ensure deadlines are met. Upon approval, we will adjust the 26-27 calendar accordingly to reflect this change. The administration respectfully requests that the board sunset Resolution 2324R-001 and shift to this recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, do we have any members of the public that wish to make comments on this item in this
Do not.
meeting?
No, we do not.
Okay, thank you. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? Director Zomborg.
Thank you, Chair O'Halloran. Can you talk could administration talk just a little bit about which job classifications maybe would have to take the time off different days? Would our secretaries 12-month, and would they get off that week, or would they have to take a different week?
Administration?
Chair O'Halloran and Director Zombor, we know that there will be some facilities workers who will need to take off. There will also be some in payroll that we will need to also have, not take off, but stay back. And we think there will be some in HR for staffing purposes. We have interviews. We're trying to get a caring and competent teacher in every single classroom next year. So we anticipate that. There may be here and there some secretaries and principals if they have interviews for staffing and requesting, and they'll work that out with their supervisor.
Director Zomborg, any other further
But
comments?
the general intent is that most everybody, and where there are exceptions, that will be approved with the supervisor or their chief.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, did you have your hand up?
I just had a question, and Jill thinks this might have been worked out already in the calendar, so please excuse me if it did. But since the calendars for 26, 27, 27, 28 were approved, but those 2 days that are still in 24, 25 have not, do we need to do something with regards to that?
Administration?
Chair O'Halloran and Director Zumber, we do, and that's why I said the calendar would be changed accordingly. We believe that that would be June 26th, Monday, June 29th, and the 30th, July 1 and 2, and the July 3rd is a holiday. So we would change that and reflect that change so that everybody could see that transparently.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, any other questions?
Nope, that was it. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for bringing that question up. All right. What is the pleasure of the committee with respect to this item? Director Herndon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we accept the recommendation of administration on the request to sunset resolution 2324R-001.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On Director Herndon's motion to approve the administration's recommendation to sunset Resolution 2324R-001. Director Herndon.
And then to approve Resolution 2324R-001. Administration Policy 6.08. Would that be correct?
No, just to approve the administration's recommendation to sunset Resolution 2324.
And just leave it? Okay. With that, my vote is aye.
Director Reza.
Aye.
Director Zomber.
Aye.
And Chair O'Halloran.
Aye.
That's 4 ayes, the motion passes.
Thank you. It looks like administration might have a question or a
I
comment.
just have a question for Jill or you, Dr. Owen. Do we have to approve the calendar change too, and also allowing me then to go ahead with the 5 consecutive days affirmatively, or no? Or would that just be understood with the sunsetting of the resolution?
That is the piece
Office
that I
of
was
Board
wondering
Governance?
about. Yeah, I think that technically it would make the most sense to also approve a calendar change, since that was approved as a separate topic and item in the past to this calendar year for those last 2 days.
And also enabling me to just go ahead with these 5 days too, just what that motion would be.
Yes. So a motion that would put together the two that would have to do with sunsetting this resolution and to direct administration to change the calendar to reflect the approval of the 5 days from the dates of, are you looking at the dates?
I'm looking at the item.
So we
because it
have
was-
withdrawn
it was
the
all-
resolution that has been taken care of, correct?
Yes.
That's
Okay.
what the previous motion did, Madam Chair. The item was not noticed for modifications to this year's calendar, though. So
So we may have to.
Would we
Perhaps.
be able to bring something to the full board that will be on Thursday night, perhaps?
a member
Or
could set the item aside,
Okay.
and then a new motion could be made to adopt the recommendations that are presented tonight and adopt a revision to the current year's calendar, assuming the administration could prepare a revised calendar.
Given that they've already approved it, though?
Okay. Oh, it looks like Director Zombor might have a,
Since I was one of the affirmative, I could withdraw, like, I could do a motion to reconsider, and then we could vote on a motion to reconsider. If that passes, then we could do another motion to hold it until Thursday.
I think the easiest thing to do in this situation might just be to allow this sunset of the resolution tonight and then add to the agenda for Thursday an item to adjust the calendar to reflect that.
thank you. It looks like we're all on the same page at this point, so I appreciate the thoughtful consideration of this item. And I look forward to Thursday's discussion then. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
Madam Chair, that was the last item on this meeting's agenda.
Thank you. And as a reminder, a meeting of the Committee on Legislation, Rules, and Policies will begin shortly. There being no further business before this committee, we stand adjourned.